Hello, happy Wednesday. Happy Mind Your Wednesday. Pardon my quarantine here today. And it's just been so many things that's been on my mind, as I'm sure a lot of you, with everything that's going on. A couple of days ago, my anxiety was on 1,000. I woke up and I prayed and, I settled myself down and went about my day and kind of trying to find this new normal, new routine of being at home. And just periodically throughout the day, every couple of hours, I felt myself having to check myself, right? Your thoughts and your mind kind of wanders as, things are happening, changing, and you're watching the news, and it's difficult not to, I guess, engage in a lot of it because we want to stay aware and abreast, but sometimes it just can be too much. So even during these times, for people like me that deal with anxiety or have dealt with anxiety and have to navigate how not to spiral and trigger, I have to be mindful of the things that I'm listening to, the things that I'm reading, how much of the news that I watch. As a child, I even remember back as far as I was a child, I used to worry about the world. You watch the news and you see all these stories and you're like, everybody's killing everybody, so, and even now with as much as going on, I have to still control what I'm listening to, what I'm saying, what I'm watching, and who I'm talking to, conversations that I'm having, all of this, because it plays into kind of where your mind and your thoughts go, right? So thinking about that and how we're going to begin to navigate through these next few days and weeks, for some of us having to stay in. A lot of us should have already been doing that. And how to kind of control these thoughts and not kind of trigger yourself and anxiety, at least for me. And so I was working on this course, and I remember part of it was talking about this study somebody did about how feelings and emotions and thoughts occur, and they can kind of last for like 90 seconds. 90 seconds doesn't seem like a long time. You think about a minute and a half. But it can be a very long time. Like if you try to sit still, like when you finish watching this and you sit still, try to sit still and be quiet and not think about anything and just focus. A lot of people do this in meditation, but just focus on either your breathing or something for a minute and a half. That could be really difficult, especially in a day and age where, things are all around us and we have distractions and phones and iPads and laptops and TV and all this stuff that stimulates us, just being still, which a lot of us are having to do now, can be difficult, right? So back to this 90-second thing that I was listening to and reading about, it's like these thoughts and feelings can come up and they linger or can last for like up to 90 seconds. So for people like me, that mine can go, like I can come up with 1,000 different scenarios about what's about to happen or what can happen and who can get sick and who can get whatever and when will I go back to work and will this, I can come up with 1,000 things in that 90 seconds off of one thought. So I have to control that. And there's a way within that 90 seconds that a lot of times we add to the thought. We fan the flame, right? And we make it kind of more than what it is. Now, I've been kind of, I'm going to say kind of, but I've been kind of on this self-aware thing of how I respond and controlling my thoughts and situations just so my anxiety doesn't kick up. So it's become a practice for me to do this. So when something happens and I get angry or I feel sad, my first thought is why did you feel that way? What do you think caused that to happen? Right? And I try to control the situations. But what a lot of us do, because we've been on autopilot. A lot of us have been on autopilot and not even realizing it. And kind of what I mean about I'm going to go back to the 90 seconds. I told you my mind been all over the place, but I'm going to go back to the 90 seconds in a second. But to kind of give you an idea of like autopilot, have you ever gotten in your car, left work, and say, hey, I need to stop at the grocery store, I need to pick up something for dinner, and next thing you know, you pull it in your driveway. You're like, I thought I was supposed to go, right? You're on autopilot, right? I don't know, and you're not on the phone talking, so you didn't get distracted and just forgot, or, caught up in a song or listening on the radio, but, your mind has gone somewhere, and then just the autopilot, because that's what you normally do, you drove home, right? And so many of us are probably going to realize that we've been on this autopilot kind of a living or life now that we have to be still. And that's not a bad thing, but you're going to have to work through some of that and some of what you start to feeling even in that. So back to the 90 seconds, when you have these thoughts that they're going to come up, or if they come up, like for me, if something happens, or like say I was thinking about, my job and, that situation and being furloughed or whatever. And, I can start to add things to that scenario. But within that 90 seconds, I put it in a different context where my anxiety doesn't kick up as bad. Like thoughts come up, feelings come up, acknowledge it, because if you try to push it away and pretend that it's not there, you're ultimately going to spiral. It's going to kick in and it's going to catch you off guard. But if you can control it when it happens, that is usually the best thing to do. And it takes practice. It does take practice. It's like I said, I've been working on this, doing this, practicing this for, some years now. But even a couple of days ago, it was just like heavy. Like every couple of hours, it was some other thought. It was something. And I was like, Tracy, get yourself together, right? So in these next few days, weeks, or however long, we're here, focus on what you're thinking about and the things that come up. I know I've said this some time ago in another video, but really think about what you're thinking about. When these feelings come up, acknowledge it. Say, oh, what is that? And a lot of times we drag old experiences and old emotions into a current present moment, and it just kind of exacerbates it, right? You're like, why am I so angry? Why am I so mad at this? And it's not necessarily this one particular thing. We just pulled in a whole lot of other stuff into that moment. So when you feel these things, think about Tracy telling you about these 90 seconds and in that, and try to control, what it is and what you're feeling. We're gonna get through this, we gotta hunker down, and in this time, just use this time to be productive, right? I put myself on a no TV until 4 or 5 o'clock every day, right? Because I'm one that can binge watch. I love me a good Hallmark movie, right? And I can sit up and watch Hallmark all day. But I'm not going to do this because there's so many things like if I just had time, okay, now I have time, right? I can finish the classes. I can finish, all these things that I said I didn't have time to do. So mind your thoughts. Use that 90-second, I'll say, I'm not going to say a challenge, but just think about those 90 seconds when these things come up, because they probably will, and I'm sure it probably will again for me. And, I'm having to practice what I preach, right? But again, we're going to get through this. Stay focused, try to find yourself a new normal. Still get up and get dressed, every day as if you're going somewhere, and try to not to fall into this slump or lull. You guys, hang in there. We can do this. We can make it. Take care of yourselves. Continue to wash your hands. I know here in Birmingham, some things have changed that we're going to have to, be in. If you're home with the kids, still find some time during the day just for yourself, just to take a deep breath. If you got to go sit out in the car. And also the other day, I made a post. I don't know if anybody saw it, but remember, since you're not going anywhere often, go out, crank up your car. We don't want any dead batteries to sneak up on us, just in case, we do have an emergency or have to go somewhere, our batteries aren't dead. Yes. Okay. It's a lot. So, guys, again, hang in there. I'm trying to bring all my thoughts and stuff kind of down a little bit, but still a lot, that I'm processing, that I do want to share. So, you guys, I look forward to speaking with you guys again on next Wednesday. This is the last Wednesday of the quarter. 2020 is giving us a run for our money, but hey, we're going to come out better on the other side of this. So if nobody has told you today that they love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Y'all have a great day and mind your Wednesday.